Are you a woman standing at a crossroads, eager for change? It's time to connect with your authentic and empowered self at Boss Leap. Join Dr. Sylvia Morris and Dr. Angela Walker in this empowering community where real-life stories of courageous and talented women inspire and motivate. Engage in honest conversations that foster well-being, drawing from our own journeys. Let us guide you toward profound growth and transformation in both your personal and professional life. Here are your hosts, Dr. Sylvia Morris and Dr. Angela Walker.
Hello and welcome back to Boss Leap. I am Dr. Angela Walker and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Dr. Sylvia E. Morris. And today we had the absolute honor of interviewing and speaking with Dr. Faith Oliver. Dr. Faith Oliver is an oral surgeon, or the total name is oral maxillofacial surgeon, trained and practiced for many years and then made a boss leap within the last decade and has her own skincare line. She is also a wildly successful speaker and coach. She filled up our plates, our cups, our cupboard with so much information, inspiration, and prayer. So we have so much to share, but before we get into it, Sylvia, she also talked about part of her journey was being in a valley and being in her valley. And just wanted to see what that means to you. How did that resonate? How did that land, and any examples in your life?
Oh, man, Dr. Faith, I was just so moved by so many of the things that she shared. And when we talk about valley moments, we have all had valley moments. And I think back to the time where I was applying to medical school, and I literally applied to 30 schools. And I think I ended up with maybe one or two interviews. And as spirit would have it, one of those interviews was Georgetown. And the rest is history. You know, I met you ladies, and my life has forever changed having gone to Georgetown. But I think the part that I have learned over the years, as far as when you have those valley moments, to keep moving forward. Know what your goal is. My goal was going to be, I wanted to be a physician by hook or crook somewhere in the United States. And I stayed true to that goal. And Dr. Faith talked about staying focused on knowing your why. So yes, valleys, they come. What about for you?
Yes, I think probably the biggest valley for me has been, within the last, since COVID. And I was moving down towards the valley prior to that, and in terms of career-wise. And, OBGYN, delivering babies for, 25 plus years, if you count residency from day one, and absolutely loved that aspect of, what I was doing. But the lifestyle, sleepless nights, staying in the office till 6 or 7 to complete charts, and, getting in my car crying, it just, I told my husband, I just can't do it anymore. And he says, you mean, that's not what you want to do. I said, no, I just can't. I just physically cannot keep up with this lifestyle, and know that I need to be mentally healthy, physically healthy, emotionally, spiritually, all the things that I knew that I had told patients for years, but I wasn't practicing myself. So that was a valley for me, trying to figure out, well, what is my way out? With still maintaining the aspect of educating women, helping women in women's healthcare, which I'm truly passionate about, which I feel like I'm gifted in, but finding another way. And it just so happened, there was a coach that I ran across. It was a webinar, and we talk about, coaching in this episode. And it was just inspiring.
And what's the name of your coaching?
My coaching my coaching
program.
business is Health Style.
Okay.
And it's, again, it's a way of identifying, the best in you and, helping to nurture your mental, physical, all those things, health, because it all goes together. You can't work on one aspect of your life. So I've been doing that. And yeah, I feel like I'm on the other side of that valley, but I think what you just said, and certainly what Dr. Faith says over and over again, is knowing your why. And I truly believe only you, and as she, believes, I think God gives you that why, but it's a matter of you responding to it and actually saying yes to it. And that's when I think the doors start to open. And that's what happened for me. So
in the spirit of transparency, because we are transparent here on Boss Sleep, I think I need to add something to my valley.
Okay.
In that, certainly when I first finished residency, that was definitely a valley period. And it may have been a valley decade. Because when I first started practicing, it was that constant feeling of, is this all there is? And I need to do this for another 30 years to pay back all this money that I borrowed to become a physician. And there was a lot of hand wringing and tears and consternation and job changes. And I know every girl's trip, I was like, this is it, y'all. I'm getting this job and I interview with this. And then the next girl trip, like, well, actually, that didn't work out so well. So for those people, yes. But there can be valley decades, career-wise. Yes. And I want people just to really remember that it really does improve. And it is about, just as Dr. Faith is going to talk about, staying focused on your why and knowing who's in your corner and having corner people.
That part. We can't wait.
Can't wait. Exactly.
Yes. So without further ado, we would love for you to stay on and listen to all that Dr. Faith has shared with us. And we hope that you're truly as inspired as we are. All right. So the moment we've been waiting for, we are so excited to have Dr. Faith Oliver with us, better known as Dr. Faith, to all of you out there. But I cannot tell you, again, as I said in introduction, I can't contain my excitement for having her here with us and sharing all the beautiful insight that she has just from life in general, her faith, all the tremendous accomplishments. But so anyway, we'll just get right into it so I don't waste any time. So we have time to dive into all aspects of what it's like being Dr. Faith. But welcome.
Thank you, beautiful ladies, for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Wonderful. We are excited to have this conversation with you, Dr. Faith. I've heard a lot from Dr. Angela about you, so I know that our audience will be equally as excited. So we're going to get into things. Dr. Faith, you are a Texan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you share with us some of your insights on how being a Texan and how that's influenced your career path?
That's interesting because, born and raised in Dallas, you just that Southern girl, you just have that Southern hospitality. But when I moved to DC for 4 years, that is when I really realized I am so different. We just have a different air about us. So just moving into a different climate, that set me apart. It really did, because like I said, we just carry a different energy as Texans. So that just kind of made me, just kind of stand out in the crowd. So it was actually a good thing. Yes, it was actually a good thing. They call me Big Tex. So, okay.
So tell us what part of life was that? Undergrad?
That was my residency. Yes, I did my residency at Howard Hospital. So yes, it was a culture shock for me as well. But like I said, being a Texan, you just go with the flow. You just go with the flow.
So tell me, why was it a culture shock? I'm from Los Angeles, and certainly going to DC for me was life-changing. I love the district. But I think of Texans as it's a different part of the world in my humble opinion. I love y'all, but it's very different. So tell us about your culture shock going to the district, to the DC.
One of the main things was me using public transportation so much in DC. I was just like, oh my gosh. So yes, even just doing that. And then I would get on the public transportation. I'd be like, good morning. Hey, how you doing? Like, what's up with her?
Don't nobody want to talk to you.
I learned quickly, just contain your excitement. Everybody doesn't want to tell you good morning. So yeah, so that was just one of them. And then I moved into a male dominated field. So even handling that gender bias when I was in my residency. So being a female, being Texan, having this kind of, this just extra personality, I was just like, they were like, okay, you're just different. You're just different. But I owned it. I absolutely owned it. So yes, I never dumbed it down, watered it down, none of that. This is what you get. This is what you get.
So let's peel it back a little bit and let's go back to, so you're in DC for your oral maxillofacial surgery residency, correct?
Yes.
Where, back when you were in Texas as a little girl, did you always know you wanted to go into dentistry? Did you always know you wanted to be an oral maxillofacial surgeon? What was it like growing up? What were your desires, your dreams?
Growing up, I'm a natural caretaker. So I knew that I would be in healthcare in some form or fashion. Nursing, I didn't know. My older brother was a general dentist. So my mother said, when he opens his office, I was in high school. He opened his office and he said, I need you to go up. My mom said, I need you to go up there, just help him answer the phone. So that is how I got exposed to dentistry. And I just knew I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I went to dental school, but then I saw that I was gravitating to surgery. I was hanging out in the surgery clinic. I was doing way more than I was required to do. I wanted to be in there with the residents. So I had one instructor. Now, mind you, this is a white male dominated field. And back then there were only like one or two Black female oral surgeons in the country. But I had one instructor that said, you have a gift in this. You just naturally gifted with your hands. So if you will pursue it, I'll get behind you and I'll help you. So fear set in, intimidation set in, but you only need one person that believes in you. So, and he did exactly what he said he would do. So I started that journey. I got accepted, and the rest is history. The rest is
Dr. Faith, what was his name?
Dr. Roger Alexander. Dr. Roger Alexander at Baylor College of Dentistry. I will never forget him. I owe him the destiny walk that I was on was because he pushed me. He saw me first, then he believed in me, then he pushed me. And every time we're going to another level, you're always going to need that who. So he was my who at that time in my life.
My who. I love that.
I love that.
Such a reminder too. I mean, it just takes that one person that believes in you. And sometimes it's that one person that not necessarily believes your dream, but actually plants that dream, right? Because you may not even recognize that that's something that you are, have an affinity in, or you're gifted in. And it's that one person that can point that out for you. So what a blessing. That's awesome.
So true. So true.
Very good.
And so, clearly you're a natural speaker. So how did you make the leap from being an oral surgeon to being an entrepreneur and speaker?
And it's so beautiful that you call it a leap. I feel like I just fell off a cliff. I mean, it was so not pretty. It just was not. But I have always had an affinity for seeing women win because I went through so much with the profession that I was in. So I was always speaking into the lives of women, even when I was in practice. So God told me after 20 years of practice, it's time to let it go. And I was like, let what go? What are you talking about? Let go of what and do what? So it was not an easy transition for me. Like I said, I always loved it, but I was secure in my practice. I mean, this is 20 years. I'm good at it. I'm loving it. It's paying the bills. The checks are coming in. But God gave me a command. He said, go. And I ignored him. because I was surely you're not talking to me. But God will shake things up until he gets your undivided attention. And he did just that with me.
So, Dr. Faith, how uncomfortable were you before you let go?
Oh, okay. Let me tell you, I was very comfortable before he said go, but a series of events happened. Like I was a specialist. So when patients came to me, I didn't have to sell you a treatment plan because I'm the end of the road because you were sent to me because you need a certain procedure. But so patients started canceling, insurances started denying my claims. My right-hand girl that had been with me 15 years decided she wanted to go and be a dental assistant. The roof started leaking. It leaked on my $25,000 X-ray machine. The floor, the foundation, and this is natural, but it's spiritual. The foundation shifted. So a crack ran through the floor, up the wall, and then the landlord went up on the rent. And this is in a span of about 8 weeks.
Wow.
When I tell you, I was sitting on the floor in my office. Patients had canceled. I sent my staff home. I sat on the floor and I said, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you. And that day I came home with tears in my eyes. I told my husband, I said, baby, God is telling me to close my practice. I don't have a retirement plan. I still have debt I have to pay off, so I don't have a plan. I just know I heard God. And he said, well, baby, if God said close it, then I got it. That was 7 years ago. And he still got it. He still got it. So who you connect with on your journey in life is crucial. Just as long as they know that you hear from God, y'all can work this thing out. So I closed my practice. I put everything in a storage, a 10 by 20 storage. My husband closed that storage and I had a full-blown meltdown right there. And that's when the grieving process started.
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting. So many things that you just said to unpack here. 7 years ago, that's crazy. I feel like you've been doing this for like 15 years. Your career in speaking and changing the lives of other women. But I also know there was a point where you developed your skincare line. You've done, I think you've always had an affinity to do like makeovers and makeup. And you actually did, one of mine for some of the pictures I still use out there. And so you've taken so many leaps along the way. And for you to say 7 years, that's just, I can't believe you've done so much in that small amount of time. So what came first after the breakdown, after the storage door came down? Then what did it look like? What was the next step?
It looked like grief. Because anytime you are separated from something that has been a part of you, be it a relationship, whatever, a career, there's a grieving process that goes with that. There was also a process of doubt. There was a process of fear. Did I miss God? What is my next? Because God only gives you a command. He doesn't give you a blueprint. He just wants, do you believe me enough to go on a command? And that's all I had. So during that process, and I call it my valley experience, that is when God started to download, okay, this is what I want you to do next. I want you to write this book. I want you to do this. I want you to, so that's where the plan came from in the valley. And then after that, that's when he said, okay, I want you to get a coaching certificate for this, coaching certificate for that. I mean, just boom, 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 one after the other. I didn't quite understand it, but now I do, because it all packages together to do what I'm doing for women. So that's how it all played out. And I had to get a coach to help me get my focus and my clarity and my momentum.
So can you speak to that? Because I'm traveling along a path that's somewhat similar to yours, but definitely many steps behind. But I never realized the value of a coach. So certainly in school, we both trained in the medical field. So you understand the value of professors and attendings that actually are teaching you. But in terms of doing something like coaching, can you give some insight into how valuable that is as a coach yourself, as a speaker yourself, to have someone that's actually still doing that for you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to kind of use them interchangeably, coaching and mentorship. I'm a believer in mentorship. Somebody who has walked the journey that can teach you and save you time and energy and money. So I sought after a coach because I had all this in me for women, but I didn't know how to put it together. Even when I was in practice, I wrote out a coaching program and put it away because I didn't know the next step. So I got a coach who walked me through the process of how to get what was in me out there, how to pack.
Dr. Faith, one question. I'm going to interrupt you. How did you select a coach? Do you know how many? If I Google coach, there are so many people selling so much stuff. How do you weed through to figure out the right person?
That is such a good question, because I did have some coaches that just did not speak to me. They were very scripted, and I don't live a scripted life. I just don't. So it didn't work out. It just didn't work out. So that's a very valid question. But this particular coach, I saw him online, and he was advertising social media. So I was like, okay, well, I'm out here, so I need a social media presence. So that is how I chose him. But I got so much more. So much more. So, but the social media drew me in. But once I got into the year-long program, I got everything I needed, even to launch my skincare line, launch the coaching program, build up the confidence that you need to do the things that we're called to do. So all of that was just poured into me, and it's been nonstop ever since. Even the conferences that I do, that was birthed out of the coaching program, because again, you only need that one. We know a lot of times we pray for, how do I do this? And what do I need to do? We need to pray for, who is that person that I need to connect to that's going to show me the how and teach me the what. That's it.
Can you give us some insight into how your medical background informed your approach to business and coaching?
Yes, God is so strategic. Again, like I said, I'm a caretaker by nature. And being a surgeon, you have to be very precise. You know that, you ladies know that. But I have that same mentality when I'm coaching my women. I'm extremely, precise. I'm objective and subjective and assessment, and I have a plan, and I still cut. I just say I cut with a different blade. I cut with the word of God. I cut with the advice that I give them. I cut with them, taking them through a healing process. So it is surgery, because that's where the healing comes from. So I have that same surgical mentality in my coaching program.
Got it.
And certainly you're a wife and a mother and an entrepreneur. How do you balance all of your responsibilities?
I used to believe that there was a such thing as work-life balance, thinking that, all things are equal when they're balanced. That does not exist. It just does not exist. The way I do is just priorities. What's my priority? My husband, my home is my first ministry. Just point blank. My husband, my child, my home, keeping it, just conducive to peace and all of that. So taking care of home is priority to me. Then, of course, with the things that God has called me to do, then I can, prioritize those as well. But I start at home. I definitely start at home.
Got it.
And nothing is balanced. Nothing is balanced. It's just prioritized. Things are all over the place, but I know my priorities. I don't have any balance at all.
And I would imagine you have help in various areas of your life as well. You mentioned having a coach. Are there other areas where you seek assistance?
Yes, absolutely. I was doing a talk on destiny helpers. There's no way that we can succeed in the big things that God has called us to do without destiny helpers. Those are the seed sowers, meaning that they just want to get behind you financially and just be a blessing to you and say, I'm supporting what you do. Wise counsel, coaches and mentors, people that you can depend on. So I gave them 8 different destiny helpers. So we need those. We absolutely need those. So, and I have that in the form of coaching and mentor. I just got a business and financial coach like 2 weeks ago, because I started another journey, and it's all in alignment. It's all in alignment. So yeah, we need that. We absolutely need that. So yeah, I pray that God send you guys all the destiny helpers that you need, the wise counsel, the seed sowers that just want to bless you and get behind you, and just yeah, we need that.
Amen.
Accept those
and
prayers. Amen and amen again.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I hear this. So you've got the support, you've got family support. What other support systems have been crucial in your journey at whatever point you wanted?
And when you said family support, I kind of went, what? But my immediate family, yes. But yeah,
that's what I know of.
Yes,
so yes,
because sometimes family members don't understand, the boss leap.
Exactly.
They don't understand that, they don't necessarily get behind it. So yes, but I do have support from my immediate family. And again, like I said, the destiny helpers, the prayer warriors, the people that I can depend on, the wise counsel, the people that surround me. And that's a very small group. You have to be very careful who you invite into your success journey. You have to be very careful. And I call it the difference between a circle and a corner. A circle is that's a revolving door. People are going to come in and out of your circle. It's going to change size. It's going to be a big circle, small circle. They're going to come and go. But you have to be mindful of who's in your corner. Who's in your corner? Because your corner is never going to change. It's going to be 90 degrees. Any corner you look at, it's static. It's going to be 90 degrees. That corner, that is your support system. They don't judge you. They don't, whatever you're doing, I'm behind it. Let me take some weight off of you. Let me carry a load for you. Let me do something for you. It's that corner. And once you identify your corner, and it may only be 2 or 3 people, that's who you nurture, and that's who you take care of. That's who you pour into you, because that is who's feeding you. You got to know your corner, your circle. And the way we get confused, we expect corner treatment from circle people. That's why we end up disappointed.
So Faith, you're preaching now. You're hitting a little too close to home. I need you to back up off.
And what I heard, which I feel is really important for people, especially that are doing things outside maybe their comfort zone or making boss leaps, is that the people in your corner may not fully understand your concept, what you're doing, and may never truly understand what you're doing. It's not about them understanding, have a full understanding. It's them supporting you because they know what you're doing. You are committed to, you have a purpose, and that you are doing, positive things out there. But it's not necessarily a matter of them having to completely understand, because no one will truly understand your dream except you.
Exactly.
If I could add on, I just watched Creed 2 for the second time, maybe more than twice, but that's for another conversation. But we think of the corner man as the person, if you're doing great, he's like, okay, great, keep jabbing, you got him on the ropes. But if you're not doing great, the corner person says, hey, I want you to remember that who's the greatest? They tell you, oh, why don't you pivot to do it in this direction? So I love the concept of a corner person.
Yes,
thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. So you can love your circle, but don't get emotionally
confused
in your circle, because like I said, it's a revolving door, but that corner, they got you.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? I told you. Lots of pearls. So we've come from oral maxillofacial surgeon, your skincare line, you're doing your coaching and certificates, and that's advancing you to this wildly successful speaking career. And now you've got Speaking by Faith Global Enterprises. Am I correct?
Yeah, Speaking by Faith Global. Yeah, LLC.
Global. Okay. Tell us about the creation of that. Like this entire, I call it an empire because there's so many things that you're doing. But tell us about that.
Well, I received that. Thank you so much. That is just the umbrella company that houses all of the things that I do. Because I do have a lot of, it's almost like an octopus. I do have a lot of things out there. So that is just the parent company that houses everything, from a business standpoint. Yes, from a business standpoint. So I just kind of had to package things and, put it in a house. So Dr. Faith Global is the house that has all these rooms in it where I move around and do what I do.
Okay, then let me go a step further then, because I think for me, what I've seen most recently is this impact of the conference that you're doing, Unstoppable. And am I correct in saying you're going on your second or third year?
This is the third one.
That's
yes,
great.
Wow.
Yeah. Tell us about the vision and even the impact from the onset. Tell us about the entire experience.
Awesome. I will. It was birthed out of my coaching program, and that is an 8-week one-on-one session that I do with my ladies. And it's called Elevation Now Life Transformation Program. And the now stands for No Opportunity Wasted. So God said, you're doing great with the coaching program, but I need you to take it to a broader audience. So that is how the in-person events started. So I did my first one 3 years ago, and it was Elevation Now, The Gathering. And the second one was last year. It was Elevation Now, Unstoppable. And this one is Elevation Now, Access Granted. And it is in October 24th and 25th.
Okay.
Yes.
In Dallas, Texas.
It's going to be in Grand Prairie, but yes, DFW area. Mm-hmm.
And can anyone register in our show notes?
Absolutely.
We'll go ahead and put a link to this and all of those things.
Yes. So you need me to give you the link now, or that's later?
No time like the present.
Right. Yes. No opportunity wasted. Yeah. So they can register at elevation-now.com. So www.elevation-now.com. And they can see all the speakers. They can book their rooms, things of that nature on that same site.
I knew it would be short and sweet. But what advice, you work with women, it sounds like it pretty much exclusively. What advice do you have for women who are looking for that space in their life to make the leap to the next opportunity, whether it's starting their own business or finding their dream occupation?
Definitely prayer, and be very mindful of not listening to too many opinions of other people, because sometimes people that are not doing anything can tell you what you should be doing. So you have to be careful for the outside advice that comes in. Coaching and mentorship, because there are 4 elements that you have to have if you're going to succeed in any area of your life. That is clarity, focus, momentum, and accountability. And that's with anything that you are doing. I don't care if you're trying to lose weight, you need those 4 pillars. So I would definitely ask her, okay, do you have clarity on what you are supposed to be doing? Because sometimes we're doing the things that we think we're supposed to be doing because we're getting paid for it, but were you made to do that? So do you have clarity on what you're supposed to be doing? Stay focused, get some momentum behind you, and accountability to keep you going.
So how about this? How about for the woman that says, no, I don't have clarity. I have no idea. I just know I should be doing something different. What advice do you have for her?
Connect with me and hire me as your coach. Babe, I'm going to get some clarity. Yes. We're going to get rid of all that confusion. Yes. Okay. Holla at your girl. That's the advice I would give her.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, very good.
And what legacy? You are doing so many things, and from where you started in dentistry to where you are now with speaking and your various other entrepreneurial pursuits. What do you hope your legacy will be?
My daughter she just turned 16, but she's so mature for a 16-year-old. She already has that entrepreneurial spirit because she's seen me and her dad. She's very gifted. And so I'm just kind of pouring into her and cultivating her gifts. I'm not even pushing her into healthcare. Actually, I'm so glad she doesn't want to be in healthcare, because that's a different kind of beast. So cultivating her gifts and pouring into her is key for me right now. Just letting her be her.
So you've done so much in this short span of life and so much more to give. But looking back at this moment in time, what accomplishments are you most proud of?
Oh, wow. That's an excellent question. That I'm most proud of. That I stayed married.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I can attest to that.
Everything that's thrown at you, because the enemy came after our marriage like crazy. So the fact that we have been married 25 years and still in love and still date and still have fun, that's an accomplishment to be proud of. Because, people don't stay together 25 years. They don't stay together 25 months. So that, for me, that's a personal accomplishment that I'm really, really proud of. Because I don't, of course, you receive accolades and awards and all of that, throughout your journey. And I appreciate that people see me, but I just want to please God. I just want to please, whatever that looks like. I just want to please God. And if somebody sees me and honors that, I'm grateful. But my biggest accomplishment is that, me and God are like this. And that's that, the book my father calls me Butterfly, that talks about the relationship that I have with God. So that's a major accomplishment, to be in a space that's spiritually sound. And you know who you are in Him. That's a win.
And we don't often kind of dive into relationships on our podcast. And just sort of at a high level, how does one say, and it's funny, I actually ask all of my patients this, patients who've been married 45, 50 years. I'm like, well, how does one stay married that long?
Can I add a caveat there?
Yeah.
Yes.
How does one stay married that long and still find joy in the marriage?
Oh, yeah. See, remember, I'm the novice, the unmarried lady here. So thank you, Angela, for that nuance. Because
it starts with you finding joy in you. Your happiness and your peace is your responsibility, and I had to learn that. And I give a testimony of me going through this bitter season in my marriage where I thought my husband had to fix me because he's the one that broke me, but that's not his responsibility. So I can't hire him for a job that he's not capable of doing. So it starts with you doing the inner work. Your joy that you have inside, that emanates, around your house, in your relationships. And we laugh a lot in my marriage. We just silly. We just wake up laughing. We go to bed laughing. We laugh at each other. So keeping that fun and that laughter, and the same thing that it did to catch him, you got to keep doing that. So what you wore when you were dating him, you better put those short dresses on and those heels and, do what you do. So women forget that. We forget to date our husbands. We forget to be flirty. We forget, to be needy, because we are so professional and we're so strong. But men don't want to be married to, the surgeon. My husband told me, he said, you're boss at the office, but don't bring that here. We have to be needy and fun and depend on them and make them feel like the king that you want them to be. That's your job. Whether he's doing it right or not, you still treat him like the king that you want him to be, and God will turn him into that. So it's layers to it. It's definitely layers.
I think you got to select the right king first, right?
Well, that's part of it.
We're gonna stop this here.
Yes. Well, the king will select you, because you're a wife before you get married, and he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So, he will find you, like Boaz, he found Ruth. So he will find you. So you just be that wife. You just present yourself. Exactly. He'll find you. Yeah. Your king will find you. Yeah. We get problems when we start going searching for them. It's out of order. Yeah, so that's why we kiss.
Now, Faith, we've already talked about you've been preaching throughout the whole 40-minute conversation. I'm going to need you to stop for one moment.
Like I said, the energy on here is like, oh my gosh, just talking to girlfriends. So I love it. I love it. And everything we're talking about, I love that too.
Awesome. As it should be.
Thank you.
So you've done so many amazing things that we've heard about, and you can share with others. Any upcoming projects that we know about the conference now, but any upcoming projects, goals, dreams that you're excited about that you'd like to share?
Absolutely. Before this amazing Zoom with you ladies, I was on a call with another who that I had been praying for. And I have to give you that story. I have a private Facebook group called Women of Worth. And I invite ladies to join it. And one lady that joined, she DM'd me. She said, I love what you're doing with women. She said, but I want to know who Faith is. And she's a Caucasian lady. And my prayer has been that God expand my territory, that I can work with women of different backgrounds and races and all of that. So I said, sure, let's jump on a Zoom. By the end of the Zoom, we were both crying. And I'll tell you why. I have been praying, God, who is my who for my next level? For my next level as far as income, for my next level as far as expansion. So by the end of the Zoom, I told her, I said, I've been praying for you. And she started to cry. She said, I've been waiting for you to show up. So we made this awesome connection. And I joined her business, and it's Arbonne, which is a all plant-based company. And I'm absolutely loving it. So she is my business and financial coach, because medically, when I went and got my physical, my doctor had the nerve to tell me
What did he say?
he threatened me with high blood pressure medicine. He said, I need you to lose 15 pounds. Your BMI is BMI. Who created that? So, but yes. So he said, I need you to lose 15 pounds. And he wrote me a prescription for cholesterol medicine that I have to take. And the devil is a whole lot. So just joining forces with her and being exposed to these products, that now I can put something better in my body, better in my home. And we had a meeting just last night, where I can bring in other partners. So that is my next endeavor, to show ladies how to get healthier and then how to get wealthier as another stream of income. And I love it because it's a product that I don't have to sell, because I'm not a salesman, but I'm going to tell you about it. And then you can make the decision on your own. So we had a great meeting last night. Like I said, I brought on some more partners, and that I'm excited about it because I needed it. What I was doing was not working for me. So I needed a change. I wanted more, and I'm getting that through Arbonne. He sent me a hoop.
All right.
So Dr. Faith, you just gave us some more nuggets as far as you went to your doctor, which I love. You had a conversation with him or her, and they had a treatment plan for you. So you're starting on that one, but you are also augmenting it with things that work specifically for you.
Yes.
So I'm happy to hear that, and I think the other part of it is that I imagine you're going to go back to your doctor to ensure that these new steps that you're taking are actually working, and then again tweak it again moving forward.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
So having starting to talk about self-care and the things that you were doing. Can you share with us more what some of your self-care practices are?
Absolutely. Solitude is one of them. You have to be comfortable spending time by yourself, whether that's in prayer or meditation or just doing some deep breathing or just doing nothing. Solitude is where you gain your peace and you kind of become centered with yourself. I love to read. So, and I love reading books that just feed my spirit, not any kind of novels, romance novels and things of that nature. But if it feeds my spirit and just makes me a better me, I love to read. I love to sleep. I get my rest, definitely. And, as busy women, we don't think that, I'll just, get a couple hours sleep. No, I go to bed at the same time and I get up at the same time. So my body is structured to get rest. That is self-care. And then I say no. I say no, and I stand on my no. I don't go places that I don't want to go. I don't do things that I don't want to do. I used to. I'm a recovered people pleaser. So I used to, but I set hard boundaries. And I put me first on my to-do list because everything else is better when I'm better.
Love it.
And through all of that, so that sounds like an excellent self-care regimen in terms of staying as energized as you are, because just being around you is like the Energizer bunny. I used to have an unending amount of energy, but I know that's not always the case, when you're working hard. But in terms of continuing to pour into your programs and, for example, the conference that's coming up, anything else that you do to stay energized through all of that? It sounds like their self-care regimen is certainly a big part of that.
Well, I stay focused on my why, because it's not an easy feat. What I'm doing and what you ladies are doing and transitioning out of, practice and things of that nature is not easy. And you get those bumps and bruises and setbacks. And, the enemy will tell you, see, you should have stayed in practice. If you would have the money to do that, if you just, yeah. So you get that. You get
Yes,
that.
I hear that.
Come on. So, but yeah, and it's real, but you have to keep your mind focused on your why, on your why. And it's not about you. It's never about
Right.
you. Somebody is hanging on your yes. Somebody is hanging on your obedience. So when you take yourself out of the equation,
Mhm.
that fuels you to say, okay, a sister needs me. Somebody may be thinking about suicide if you don't open your mouth. So you have to take yourself out of the equation and do it unto God and do it unto his people. That's what keeps me going. Even in the face of adversity, I have to say, okay, even when people are, treating you bad or, running your name through the mud, you got to rise above that stuff. You got to rise above it. And it's not easy. I've shed some tears. I mean, this cost me. This cost me. And people don't realize the cost of your yes. So yeah, think about the cost of your yes.
Yeah.
You've gone too far.
Love that, and a great insight. And you actually just led me to another question I have for you in terms of women supporting women and this, sisterhood that we
Yes.
have. Any advice that you have for us or others in trying to support women that are doing such positive things in our community? Anything that you would advise?
Absolutely. When I did the private Facebook group, Wow, Women of Worth, God told me to create what I want to see. I want to see women showing up for other women. And that is the environment that I create in that group. And the advice that I would give is to, see your sister and see yourself in her and treat her the way you would want life to treat you. I'm no bigger, no better than anybody. Anybody. I want to see you win. I want to see you win. And what can I do to add value to what you're doing? Lead in with value. That's a big key point that I would want women to see when they're, supporting other women. Lead in with value. What can I do for you? How can I help you grow? Because we're all going up together. And when you stay in your lane, there's no competition when you're staying in your lane. There's no competition when you're staying in your calling. Baby girl, stay in your lane, so we can all just run the race together and all win. So those are just some of the advice that I would give women in supporting other women.
I just,
Wonderful.
you can just
Yes, I know, exactly. So Dr. Faith, thank you so much for sharing your journey with our audience today here on Boss Leap.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? How can they follow you? Please.
Yes, on social media, on Facebook, just Faith Robertson, and it has Dr. Faith in parentheses. I love getting friends on social media, and I love inviting women into the private Facebook group. So even send a request to join Wow, Women of Worth. They can follow me at Speaking by Faith on Instagram. They can follow me at Dr. Faith Unlimited on Instagram. And, a lot of times I'm so open. When I do a podcast, I will put my cell number out there. And the reason I will do that is because most of the people won't use it anyway. They just won't. But I will put my cell number out there. So if anyone needs a coach, they need help. They need clarity. They need focus. They need to heal from past traumas. Text me 682-600-5427. 682-600-5427. That's an open line that comes to me. I do not mind people reaching out to me. They can DM me. They can go into Facebook Messenger. Just get access to me. I'm out there. They can find me. And I'm open and I want to help. God snatched me out of practice to do this. So I'm serious about it.
I am here to say that you are completely open, honest, sincere, and what you say is what you mean. And so we're so grateful that you joined us today, Faith. And you may get a DM from somebody to to join the Women of Worth. Yeah. So anyway, I love all that you had to share with us today. We would love to have you back in the future. Thank you for your inspiring words, and love to, if you have anything that you'd like to add here at the end. Otherwise, we just want to wish you the best on the rest of your endeavors this year and into the future.
Thank you. Thank you. This was an amazing encounter. This was more than a podcast. This was an encounter with two beautiful souls that God is using to just magnify people's story. So thank you for creating this platform for people like myself to, be open and be honest and be transparent, so that when you show it, maybe someone is inspired. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you, ladies, for taking the boss leap. So keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm rooting for you.
I'm full.
Thank you so much, Dr. Faith. I'm just moved and so grateful that we could have this moment today. And I'm looking forward to having you. We want to have you back again so that we can talk about some of your other endeavors. And as Unstoppable comes, we'd love to have you again. But thank you, sincerely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you both.
Angela, we have had a conversation with Dr. Faith Robertson. I am so moved, and she has left us with so many gems and just actionable information. So what were your takeaways?
How so many, which I knew we would get from her. She always has been inspiring to me. But one was destiny helpers. I like that concept of having people that are helping along the way in your journey. And particularly as an entrepreneur, you have to either employ or accept the help of those that just believe in your mission and may offer their help, whether it's financial, physical, in terms of, logistics. But destiny helpers, I liked that idea, and I need more of those. Yes. And then definitely, I think we both caught on to the idea of, we always talk about how people in your circle, our circle of friends. Yes. But her concept was that, people will fall off of that circle. Is constantly revolving, but having someone in your corner. So having those people that are always in your corner because they're going to be constant. So I definitely have my corner people. And then, of course, you have to bring up Michael B. Jordan Creed. Almost took me completely off topic, but the corner man who is, hyping you up when you're doing great, but also reminding you of, the things that will help you when you're not doing so good. And so having those, those corner people, which you are definitely, have always been one of my corner people, my corner woman, I guess. So that's so many other things that resonated with me, but those are the ones that I can recount right now. How about you?
You see, you had me at Michael B. Jordan. I'm distracted again, but yes, certainly. Who's in your corner? We talked about staying focused on your journey. We don't often get into relationship advice, but dating your husband and knowing that your king or your person will find you. That was particularly, that landed for me. And then the importance of solitude. I know our friend, sister friend of the show, Dr. Leah Matthews, talked about silence and just having peace. And here is Dr. Faith Robertson talking about solitude to gain your peace, whether it's prayer or meditation. I think those are really powerful instructions for the way we live in this day and age. Definitely.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely love that concept. So much that we have to ponder on and think about for the remainder of the week. And we hope that as listeners that you definitely gained something from our show today. We are very, very, very grateful for you, coming and joining in with us in our conversations. We would love for you to like, join, subscribe, and share the podcast with somebody that you think might, find it valuable. And we are open to your ideas and certainly anything that you'd like to hear us speak about. We would love to know that. So we appreciate it. And until we meet again, may you be well.
May you be well.
That's a wrap on another episode of Boss Leap. May this conversation enlighten your path toward personal growth and professional empowerment. For more thought-provoking and eye-opening discussions like this one, head to our website at bossleappodcast.com. Always remember to celebrate your wins and trust yourself. A positive mindset can push you out of your comfort zone and into far greater heights. Until next time, may you be well.
Before we go, there's one more thing the lawyers have asked us to include. It's the legal language. And you know how doctors love lawyers. This podcast is presented only for educational and entertainment purposes. Although we are doctors, on this show, we are just your friends. This podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of your physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals. Understood? Awesome. We'll see you in the next episode.